Race day once again as the OB Builders Cup Series circus rolls into the Diamond of the Desert for race number 4 of 2025. We've had 3 different winners through 3 different races, and we're looking to make it 4 for 4 as we settle into a long season. And it starts right now with the Victory Designs 200 here at Phoenix Raceway. Good evening, everybody. Happy to have you here with us. Nick Stein, Brandon Edstrom, as usual, on the call as we bring you race number 4 of the OB Builders Cup Series, only on Ballin TV. As we're here at Phoenix International Raceway, Phoenix Raceway, whatever they want to call it this week, we'll zoom in onto the Google Maps here, and Brandon, talk us through this place.
Yeah, one of the trickiest things about Phoenix is you can see that dog leg right in front of the front straightaway. We're going to see cars 4, 5, maybe even 6 wide toward the ends of the race tonight if we have a late race restart, but we'll see cars down there all night. It's not like real life where, the crew chiefs will say, don't go down there. It's going to hurt the under end of the car, but they'll be just fine tonight. But the one thing to look out for is them getting loose.
Yeah, for sure. Phoenix International Raceway, very, very rough track, very, very bumpy as well. This place is known for eating the right side tires, and we'll see how that comes into effect here, as we do have 200 laps here tonight. You see on our schedule the Phoenix 200 here tonight. We head to Las Vegas next week. That's going to be a fun one. Me and Brandon, both personal favorite fans of Las Vegas, but we're here at Phoenix tonight as we get, I guess what you could call the actual start of the season underway here, as this is our first, normal track here this season?
Oh, it seems like, we had 2 restrictor plate races, a road course, so this is the first real racetrack, I guess you could say. And you can see on the schedule there that the stages are lap 45 and lap 90, so the completion of those. So it will show 46 and 91 on the ticker. Talked to a few drivers before the race. Fuel will not be a factor tonight unless we see somebody do something absolutely crazy. But everybody thinks that tires seems to fade away before then. As Nick, why don't you walk us through some of these points, brother?
Yeah, of course, last week had a 3rd different winner. Shane Davis, your points leader right now, finally took home a win last week at COTA. Randy Mullins had a strong showing at Circuit of the Americas, wasn't able to come home with it. Tim Wortman, Kenny Coppola, and Alex Coffey, your top 5 in points. And you can see, looking down the rest of our point standings, not much has changed. Obviously, Victor Pfluger, after not racing the 300, is moving up in points after a couple of solid finishes at Atlanta and at COTA. But like I said, not much has changed here recently.
Yeah, the only one I can really see that changed was Brandon Bikey having troubles early on at COTA. I don't even think he made a lap or 2 before he ended up unfortunately disconnecting. So he's down 8 spots. Victor Pfluger up 11, like you mentioned previously. So not too much change, but that could change tonight. We could have a 4th different winner in a 4th race, have them lock themselves into the playoffs, and we're just about ready to grid.
Yeah, before we get to our starting grid, I just did notice something. They will be policing the start-finish line rule. If you go below the start-finish line to cut the dog leg before you cross the start-finish line, you'll be receiving I believe it was a drive-through penalty, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be something we have to keep an eye on tonight. We saw it in a real race. We'll definitely see it here tonight. But we're going to go ahead and get straight into our starting grid here tonight. Alex Coffey takes home pole position, and a pretty darn good gap there to second place Tim Wortman Jr. with Coffey running the 27.104, Tim Wortman Jr. with a 184. Kenny Coppola comes home in 3rd spot, Brandon Bikey in 4th, Shane Davis going to round out your top 5. Corey Moore starts 6th with Nigel Christensen in 7th. Paul Gallimore in 8th spot, Blaine Wilson in 9th, and Randy Mullins will round out your top 10.
Yeah, then after that, you got Justin Belmonte starting P11 tonight with a 27.420. Then behind him, you got Chris Davis. Victor Pfluger will start on the inside in 13th behind them, with Kevin Ruff, the 14 to his outside, starting 14th. Brendan Fetterplace starts 15th with a 27.508. Nick King in that 12 car will roll off P16 on the outside. Barry Sanders, the one and only, will start P17, the row behind them on the inside. Colt Blazkowski in the 8 machine starting 18th. And to round out your top 20 will be Sean Rogers and Preston Puryear.
Ryan Huff in the 24 going to start in 21st here tonight. Shane Wyatt, never been a big fan of Phoenix, starts 22nd here tonight. Hunter Carmichael in 23rd. Jeffrey Taylor with the heartbeat monitor is going to be starting in 24th tonight. Chris Crosby a rookie for this series, starting 25th. Aaron Matthews in 26th. Warren Young hasn't had internet since Daytona, finally got it back tonight. It'll be interesting to see how he does tonight. He has not run a lap since losing internet, but he is here once again tonight. He starts 27th. Jared Clark starts 28th. Nicholas Atwood in 29th, and Jamison Middlemiss rounds out your top 30.
Yeah, we got 36 cars tonight. Darren Mills will start 31st. Caden Norfrey will start 32nd. Greg Carr in the 25 with a 28.395 will start 33. And the last three cars to round out the field are Jordan Schmitz and Matt Cox. And the only car to not make a lap in qualifying is Matt Mackin. And one thing I do want to bring up, Nick, 17 incident points for a penalty, 25 for a DQ tonight's race here at Phoenix.
Yeah, we may get close to that, as these longer races at Phoenix do tend to lead to a lot of exhaustion, which leads to more mistakes. So as we get later and later into this race, that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, as we're coming to take the 1 lap to go signal here at Phoenix. These guys are going to get to roll for one more lap, so not that quick start we're used to when it comes to official races. So get one more lap here before we turn them loose for 200 laps.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun 200 laps. I mean, we're going to be able to tell the pace of this race right off the bat. But one thing, like you did say before, you got to take care of those right sides. It's really easy to burn the right front off the car here. And one thing that you will notice, there might be some cars running that third lane, but you want to be careful, because that's the spot where it's going to burn up your right front the most.
Yeah, not going to be a lot of crazy racing here tonight like we're used to seeing at Phoenix, unfortunately, with this updated tire model. It leads to a lot of one-line racing and one-line dominance. So, unfortunately, going to be a little bit difficult to pass, I guess is a good way to put it here at Phoenix. But, hey, we've seen some good races at tracks where it's very difficult to pass, so who's to say that's not going to happen here tonight?
Yeah, and that's where the bumper is going to come into play. We'll probably see that a lot tonight, but I'm just looking forward to getting this race under green. The pace car is off. They're going to go down the back straightaway, and Nick, you're going to have the call coming into turn 3 and 4, and we're going to fire them off to go green here at Phoenix.
Here we go, start of the actual season. Alex Coffey on pole position. Tim Wortman Sr. to his outside, or excuse me, Tim Wortman Jr. to his outside, as Alex Coffey has control. And he's going to wait. Green flag out in the air here at Phoenix Raceway, and we are green for the Victory Designs 200 as everyone fans out towards the dog leg.
You can already see 3 wide, almost 4 wide throughout the pack. 2 by 2 as they go into turn 1 for the first time. And this is where you really got to be careful in air. The car can get tight. We're already seeing the car running the 3rd lane, almost 3 wide there in the back of the pack. But we go back 2 wide, as it looks like Alex Coffey is going to lead the first lap here tonight at Phoenix.
And you're already starting to see Beast Mode making their moves early and often, as you got 2 Beast Mode cars already in the top 4, and 3 of the top 5 are Beast Mode performance cars as well. So Beast Mode definitely trying to gain control of this race early, and it's already showing as Coffey has some company heading down into turn number 3.
Yeah, and Alex Coffey this week. Last week he had that problem going into turn 1. Nice smooth sailing now, but you can already see a familiar face behind him, stalking him down. That's the 77 machine of Kenny Coppola. We spoke with him last week after his P2 finish. Really looking forward to Phoenix, as we're already seeing almost cars nail that inside wall on the dogleg. I mean, they use all of this track up, and we will see that all night long.
Kenny Coppola is pushing. You can tell he's pushing that 77. He is taking a lot more speed through the corners out than Alex Coffey is. I think Coffey's playing the long game here, which not a bad strategy. 45 laps seems like a short time at Phoenix, but with how quickly these tires wear, this could be a long run. So I like the play for Alex Coffey here early on, just saving some tires, just, you know, holding his hand, not really wanting to show it too early.
Yeah, it looks like Kenny has better drive in, but Alex has that better drive off. He's diamonding turns 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, he's taking the safe line for now on that bottom. But later on in the race, once the rubber gets laid down and everything like that, we'll start to see more passes on that outside lane in turn 3 and 4, so we'll have to keep a lookout for that. But as of right now, smooth sailing here in Phoenix, single file all the way till about back to 20th.
Yeah, Coppola has a lot more confidence heading down into turn number 1. Is what I'm noticing just watching the first few laps so far. But it's kind of one of those situations where Coppola is fast everywhere Coffey is slow, but Coffey is fast everywhere Coppola is slow. So one of those, you know, ticky-tack kind of cat and mouse games going on right now.
Yeah, and just take a look at the camera on the rear view of Alex Coffey. I mean, that's how hard it is to pass here. Everyone is single file already. No one's really showing a nose, and if they do, they're going to burn their stuff up going side by side. And like we say all the time, Nick, this is one of the top leagues in iRacing. These boys know what they're doing. They know how to keep the car under control, take care of their tires, and right now, I think they're just really feeling out this first run. Like we said before, 90 laps on a tank of fuel, but the tires will go before then, and they have 5 sets, so I think everyone's just taking it smooth, see what they can do, and then they'll push aggressive later on.
Yeah, we got these guys definitely got lucky with the weather here today. I mean, mostly cloudy skies, 73-degree air temperature, but the big determining factor of this race and how much we're going to see, you know, a lot of passing or aggressive moves is that track temp. And it's sitting at 86 degrees right now. So very low track temp for these guys, I mean, as far as Phoenix is concerned. So hopefully that'll lead to a little bit more racing, and hopefully the sun will stay away and this clouds will stay over the track, as it's leading to some what looks like some good racing already.
I was going to say, we got a big old cloud over the track right now, but if you look down the back straightaway, if you get a different angle next time they come by, you can see that the sun is starting to make its way in from the fields in the back. So I have no doubt in my mind that eventually the sun will come back out. But for right now, no, these guys are lucky. Every time I race Phoenix, I wish, oh man, I wish this track was just a little cloudy, because there's just so much more grip. You don't have to worry about your tires as much. Maybe you can push a little bit more, keep the track nice and cool. But as of right now, all clouds, and then the sun will come out later, it looks like.
Yeah, and that's kind of, we're getting really lucky here with the hottest part of the day being mostly cloudy. So track temp's going to stay down for sure. I mean, looking through the rest of the forecast throughout the majority of this race, I mean, it stays mostly cloudy till about 2:30, and then the sun starts to peek out a little bit more right at about 3 o'clock. So that'll be the time where we start to see the air temp pick up a little bit more, and that's where we're gonna, you know, coincide with about stage 2 in stage 3 start with about that time frame. So these guys are definitely looking to enjoy this cloud cover while they have it.
We're on board with the 9 machine of Jeffrey Taylor right now. You can see his heartbeat sitting at a nice cool 75, 77 beats per minute. We were calling a race on Friday, Nick. You weren't there, but me and JP were, and there was a man's heart rate up to 145 beats per minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was freaking out a little bit, but Jeffrey Taylor seems like every week he has this heartbeat monitor on. He's calm, cool, and collected, but you can see throughout the whole pack, single file. Won't stay like this for long though. Eventually, you'll really be able to see around lap 20, lap 25, who's saved the most, who hasn't saved, and cars will start dropping like flies, and the people that have saved will start to move up. But as of right now, Kenny and Shane Davis both got into the wall coming up off of 2, but everything is fine. But you'll really start to see, I think Alex Coffey will start to pull away here in a little bit. Looks like he's really taking care of his stuff.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to bring up, I mean, Kenny Coppola, I've been watching on board the last few laps, and you can see it. It's there. He is losing ever so much. You see the dive bomb there from Coppola trying to scare Alex Coffey just a little bit, but Coppola is just starting to lose out on Coffey ever so slightly. I'm talking thousandths of a second in between how fast each driver is right now. So it's close for right now, but I think Coffey has the edge.
And thank you to everybody tuning in again on Ballin TV. Kelly Coffey says, let's go dig esports, go Coffey. Reed Williams says, let's go Coffey. And then Bad Racer says, I think Kenny has won every Phoenix race for the last 3 or 4 years, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe he's not pushing. Maybe he knows something we don't. As all of a sudden, Chris Angel has appeared and the clouds have magically gone away. I mean, right as I was starting to talk, the clouds went by, and now the whole track is covered in sun. So much for that stage 2 cloud cover end. I guess the sun said, I'm going to prove all you guys wrong right now.
Let's take a look at the start of the race here real quick. I didn't hear anything about it being under review. But
now you can just see how dark it is, but now we want to take a look back at this just to see how crazy the dogleg will get. I mean, again, we're looking at the start of the race.
We got a caution.
Yeah, we have a caution out on the racetrack, actually. But we'll keep this timing. Oh, yeah, there you go. Man, wow. I was going to say, what our poor producer, he was going to show the
Sounds like
leg.
it was near Jeffrey Taylor.
poor producer was going to show us the restart just to emphasize how crazy the dog leg can get. And that was just the start of the race that they were 3 or 4 wide. So later on, it's going to get crazier. But going back and looking at a replay here, see Brandon Bikey in that red and yellow machine coming up out of turn 4.
Oh, here it is.
Behind
Blaskowski and Jeffrey Taylor.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact, nothing too crazy. I don't think anyone has damage from that. So I think we should be okay.
Get another angle here. Yeah, Blaskowski tapped the wall off of 2. And then down into turn 3, I think he just outbrakes himself.
Trying to make the first pass we've seen all race.
But yeah, it looks like Blaskowski avoids any major damage in that number 8 car. So, no harm, no foul, it sounds like.
Yeah, first caution of the night, lap 17 of 200. Nothing crazy really going on so far, but we'll be able to get a peek one more time at what happens in the dogleg when we go back green, just to emphasize how crazy it is going to be all night. And there is no restriction. I mean, you can go all the way down to the wall, practically almost kill the inside wall with your left side. So it's going to be interesting how aggressive people will be early on, knowing that they can't pass. And with this sun coming out, Nick, it's going to get a lot worse. The handling of these cars are going to go away, and the track's going to start to heat up, and we're going to see a lot of guys that maybe were comfortable up in the top 10. They might drop back or move up. Who knows? Every single driver has a different preference. I know I prefer, like, I like driving a loose race car. Some people like driving tight race cars. So it really just depends with this sun coverage coming out.
Yeah, and this is going to be the old saying I love pulling out, handling wins all. So we're going to figure out who's got a good handling race car here. And like I said, I'm sticking with that 19 of Alex Coffey. He looks quick. He was able to handle that transition from cloud to sun pretty well. I mean, that track temp jumped up about a degree in between the time of those clouds disappearing on the sun coming out and that caution. So, like I said, I like Alex Coffey. I think he can keep it going here.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he will too. Alex Coffey looking for his first win of the year. And man, I mean, he looks like he has the car to do it, but it's too early to say. Lap 19 of 200, you know, we could have drivers start dropping like flies here in a little bit. That right front is just so important to take care of. But lights on the pace car are out. The pace car is going to drop down pit road, and now we have the long crawl back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and of course, you cannot go until you get to the SimWrap Market restart zone in turns 3 and 4. So, antagonizing is the word I would use to describe waiting to get back going green here at Phoenix. So, Alex Coffey heads it down into turn number 3 and finally gets sight of the restart zone. Great flag back out of the air here at Phoenix International Raceway. And Alex Coffey, good start, good restart, does lose Kenny Coppola, and now Shane Davis gets to the inside of Coppola, and Bikey gets to the inside of the 77 as well.
F3 wide behind him. Wow, Shane sent it into turn 1 and 2 on the rear bumper of the 19 machine. He's going to clear himself of Kenny Coppola. We got a spinner in the back of the pack. They're wrecking on the inside. No caution just yet. Every car keeps it straight. They both bounced off the inside wall, so we'll have to check for damage. But as of right now, no caution. We're still green.
That is how quickly things can happen here at Phoenix, especially down the back straightaway. So that is going to be something that we need to watch later in this race for sure. I mean, chaos breeds chaos, and if that's what we're seeing this early in the race, yeah, just look out for later on this race.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice the 79 starting to run about half a lane up in turn 1 and 2.
Oh, we got one spinning off of turn number 4. Nigel Christensen loops it coming across the start-finish line. I think it was Nigel Christensen.
Yep, Nigel Christensen, lap 22 of 200. Good call there, Nick. I was not paying attention to it at all. I was watching that 79 machine of Shane Davis running up the track a little bit. We'll have to go back and take a replay and see what happened.
From the looks of it, just got on the gas too hard. No contact made with anyone. Just stepped on the gas and the rear tires said, no thank you. And you see him driving off here. Get down. Ooh, does he make a little contact with Belmonte here? Nah, just loops it by himself.
Yeah, and with that wall being so far away, you know, it really is enticing to just smash on the throttle and get back to it. But one thing here at Phoenix is you really do want to make sure you have straight exit, even though you're technically turning the entire time. You want the car to be as straight as possible, but he'll just eat that one and he'll group it back together. We've got a few cars coming down pit road, not too many takers. Got 4 or 5 cars, so we might see a few cars on some different strategy that are going to come down and take tires with their untimely spins. But I think they should be all right.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Phoenix. You get these guys grouped back up like this, and apparently we had a separate spin for that. Before that yellow, we're hearing it was Nicholas Atwood.
Yeah, this is what this is what I saw off of turn 2. Big contact to the inside wall for the 12 and the 91. Both big hits. You can see the left side of that 91 car for beast mode. Lots of damage. I don't know if the toe link is completely broken. It looks like it's all right.
Yeah, it should be fine. Should be good to go. Phoenix is a historically forgiving track when it comes to having a little bit of damage, so.
Oh, you can see the 78. Oh, okay. So before that, the 78 had gotten into the 12 in the middle of the corner once, and then twice on the exit of the corner. I thought the 12 maybe had just gotten loose, but it looked like he had some help from that 78. And then whoever behind the 91, I don't think checked up enough and hit him. And that's a big hit to the inside wall. But from this angle, it doesn't look like the toe link. I mean, he's not crab walking, which is a big sign that the whole thing is absolutely shattered. So I think everybody should be okay. Lights on the pace car are out, and we're going to line them up 2 by 2 again.
Re-rack them, restack them for the for the second restart here tonight from Phoenix. Had a pretty good race so far. Had a good, what I would say, almost 20-lap run to start this race. Had a couple of cautions back-to-back here, though, as we are working our way through stage 1. It's going to be Alex Coffey, Shane Davis up front, Kenny Coppola, Brandon Bikey, 3rd and 4th. So Dig Esports leads it right now, but you got 3 Beast Mode performance cars surrounding you, basically. So, yeah, very, very, very treacherous waters for the 19 of Alex Coffey as they head down into turn number 3, getting ready to take the restart here. Coffey waits, hits the gas, green flag out of the air here at Phoenix. And remember, oh man, that may be a penalty on Coffey. Remember, we said it, you have to stay above the start-finish line, or above the yellow line until after the start-finish line, and Coffey was there below it before the start-finish line.
Well, once everything single files out, we'll go back and take a look at it because the racing's starting to get good. Side by side for the lead as they come down the back straightaway. Davis, Coffey. Davis might have the advantage going into 3 and 4 here because he's been running about half a lane up, but Coffey's going to be able to use that dog leg coming down the front straightaway. Davis used it as well. Coppola in line behind them. Brandon Bikey in with them as well as they go through turn 1 and 2. Alex Coffey's going to send it up a little bit. Going to try to get himself clear coming off of 2, but he can't make it happen.
Almost gets clear off of 2, but Davis comes back with the side draft down into 3. Yeah, Coffey is going to get clear of Davis. Davis tries to slip in and does get into that gap. And this battle goes the way of Alex Coffey as they head down towards turn number 1 again.
I thought the 79 was trying to do a crossover, and I was about to say, not clear, not clear. His front bumper was right on his right rear quarter panel, but good move by Shane Davis to not get Coffey turned around and not make contact with him. Like you said, Nick, just fall into that gap that he had. But as you can see, those beast mode guys, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, with one Dig Esports guy out front. One thing I do want to point out, some of our big movers, Shane Wyatt from 22nd up to 13th. Got Hunter Carmichael from 23rd to 16th. So we got a few guys that are really putting in work. Sean Rogers from 19th to 8th. Justin Belmonte from 11th to 5th. So some big movers so far. But normally when you see a big mover at Phoenix, Nick, what does that mean? They're burning off that right front.
They burnt their tires. We'll see if they can make it to the end of stage number 1, which, spoiler alert, we're coming up on 16 to go to the end of the stage. And it looks like Shane Davis is starting to fall off a little bit of Alex Coffey.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got those right side tires heated up too much trying to battle on the outside, even for that 1 lap. I mean, these next-gen cars are so finicky with the tires. I mean, they had a supposed tire model update, but apparently from what we've heard from just about everybody in the community is that added a little bit of more realistic tire wear, but didn't really do much. But Alex Coffey, he's looking to pull away as they go through turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, Coffey is pulling now. I mean, it was minimal during that first run. Oh, man, Coppola really loose off of turn number 2. Now has Bikey to his outside, and you can see right there, yeah, that's a sign of a loose race car. I mean, Coppola, there he goes drifting.
Oh, no, not back in front of traffic. Oh, my gosh, what a save. My God.
Wow.
Talk about a pucker moment. My goodness. Anybody else out of this league
Coppola
would have overcorrected back into traffic. Hell, I probably would have done that. But he just locked it down. And my God, what a save by the 77.
Yeah, Coppola dealing with something in that 77.
Well, I think
right
Brandon
here.
Bikey took the air off of him a little bit right here. And Coppola started coming back up the track. And at about right here, I was like, oh, whole field's dead.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that is a marginal error between... If we could take one more look at that, I mean, he essentially drifted between 2 cars. Watch the 77. Obviously, doesn't make contact with the 27, but that air game plays so much. And right here, as he's about to come back up the track, misses one, slips through another. I mean, I don't know how he saved that. What a save by the 77.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, that was... Save of the year contender. I mean, I know he didn't get crazy sideways, but down on that dog leg in the transitional banking, I mean, normally you would see people just absolutely perish coming back up onto the track. Bring it back to the garage you're done with, because there's no fast.
Exhibit A, Justin Belmonte should have cleaned his clock and somehow avoided him. I mean, yeah, and then Blaine Wilson comes through and, whew, man. Yeah, that definitely putting that one in for Save of the Year contender already, and we're, what, 4 races into a 36-race season?
I mean, Belmonte should have knocked him out like Tyson should have to whatever that Paul's name is.
Paul.
Oh, my good Lord. But again, what an absolute save. But back to racing here, lap 36 of 200. Kenny Coppola's fallen back a little bit, all the way down to 9th. One mistake proves huge, and you can see now I think he's really starting to struggle from locking down those tires. But I think if I'm Kenny, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, I'll take that. We only have 10 laps to go in the stage. It is what it is. I'm just glad that my race car isn't absolutely killed.
Now, if we go up front, I want to show you something that kind of ticks me off with a next-gen car. And I'm going to sound like an old head for saying this, but the air blocking that I'm seeing from Alex Coffey right now to keep Shane Davis and Brandon Bikey behind him is just astounding. I mean, that is the closest I've seen Shane Davis get to Alex Coffey.
And we're going to see that in the new ARCA car, too. iRacing just released the new ARCA car. And with those, as Dale Earnhardt would say, giant-ass spoilers on the rear end. I mean, when we did the Kansas race last night, all our teammate Alex Murray needed to do was just block the air. That's all he needed to do. So a lot of aero blocking in racing nowadays. I get it. It is what it is. But definitely a huge advantage if you're the leader. And imagine, the dirty air only gets worse as you go throughout the pack. I mean, we'll see it big at Vegas next week when we have 3 or 4 lanes. But even to air block here is insane. No harm to Alex Coffey. He's doing the right thing, 100%. But it just goes to show that even on a mile track like this, you can still air block.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks. I mean, it really sucks. I don't know what I'm saying here, but I mean, it's realistic. I mean, this is exactly what you would see the drivers on Sunday do. They would aero block as hard as they can. I mean, look how tight Brandon Bikey's car is, just trying to turn in that wake of Alex Coffey. I mean, there is that's one car. Now imagine being Hunter Carmichael right now, down in 16th place. You got 15 cars worth of dirty air in front of you.
Oh, Kenny Coppola is in the sun. Sorry, Nick, but Kenny Coppola was all in the door of the 83 machine in turn 1 and 2. Obviously not on purpose. I think the 77 is just really struggling right now. as he's still...
Oh, man. Warman just clocked the wall off of 4.
And I don't know if you saw that. The 77 almost just lost it in the dogleg again. Another save by the 77. You can see the car's a little fidgety. So we're on board with Jeffrey Taylor, Sean Rogers, Tim Wortman Jr., and Kenny Coppola. I mean, my goodness, these boys are putting in work. And Jeff, I don't know how he drives with those goggles on, man. Those things would give me a headache.
Yeah, same. As we're coming to 5 to go here in stage number 1. It has been the Alex Coffey show to this point. He has led every lap since the drop of the green flag, and apart from Shane Davis getting close on one of these restarts, I mean, he has not had much challenges to this point in this race. I mean, Coppola got close to his rear bumper, but he fell off after about 5 or 10 laps. I mean, this is probably the biggest gap we've seen all night for Alex Coffey, and that just goes to show how important it is to know how to air block in this car.
Yeah, but be on the lookout for Sean Rogers. Started 19th up to 5th. Shane Wyatt from 22nd up to 12th. But right now, Matt Cox started 35th up to 16th. So these boys are moving through the field. So Alex Coffey might be the favorite now, but there's some speed throughout this field, Nick. We saw some really, really fast laps in practice. They maybe messed it up in qualifying, but we did see, we don't want to waste it too much, but we did see some drivers doing some cheese that could help their lap times in qualifying. So as of right now, maybe the guys that didn't do the cheese just put down a lap that wasn't in their favor, as the 32 is driving the hell out of the thing going into turn 1, almost gets into the 5 car coming off of turn 2. My goodness.
Well, Alex Coffey comes off of turn number 4 to take the white flag here in stage number 1. And as previously mentioned, not much challenges whatsoever for this stage win. Alex Coffey led every lap so far. He is quite literally class of the field to this point of this race, and coming down the back straightaway, heading for turn number 3, Alex Coffey gonna come around to take his first stage win of the season. Alex Coffey.
There is a massive hit on the back straightaway. No, that will be the stage end. But by God, we thought the first one on the back straightaway was hard. I believe it was the 43 machine. Oh my! That's Victor Pfluger. He's done. That car is destroyed.
We need to go further than destroyed. That car is junk. Send it to the junkyard.
Both of his toe links might be broken. I mean, look at this hit that he had. We're looking at him going into turn 1 and 2, and it's coming off of 2.
Oh, was this Matt Cox?
No, it doesn't look like it. I think he just gets loose. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. So a car in front of him.
Oh, and he gets clocked. All right, we're going to need a stretcher down to the 43's pit box.
All right, well, while the virtual ambulance is going to pick up Victor Pfluger on pit road, all the cars are coming down pit road. It might be a good time to send it to commercial so we can take a breather and figure out what just happened.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and send it to a commercial break. Stay right here. We'll bring stage 2 right after this here on Ballin TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we welcome you back to Phoenix Raceway here for the victory. I believe it was the Victory Stickers 200 from Phoenix. And Brandon, you remember when you said interesting strategies? Well, we got one up front. Jordan Schmeech stayed out on 45 lap old tires, and he is going to be leading the field back to green here, as green flag is out in the air here at Phoenix for the start of stage number 2. And how long does this last?
Well, it is the Victory Designs 200 here at Phoenix. Sorry, Nick.
That's my fault.
2x2 as they go down into turn 1 and 2. We just got word that Victor Pfluger is killed for the night. He is done. We will grab an interview with him shortly. 2x2 down the back straightaway they come. Shane Davis looking to the inside for the lead. Three beast mode cars up on Ballin out. It looks like Shane Davis is going to go clean. Another yellow.
Yeah, I believe 2 separate incidents there. Because caution came out and Ryza came out. I saw Blake Wilson go swing to the inside of 4.
Well, if you don't mind, before we get this replay, let's have Victor get him up here. All right, Victor Pfluger. And we get a copy, but.
Yes, I did.
Oh, we're all right, but talk us through. You saw what happened, and you tell us before you're done for the night. I mean, it looked like it was just a situation that you had no control over. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so started coming forward there. I guess that's, sorry, I'm holding my rubber jack the other way. But I started coming to there. Corey said he was on the little snug come up, and then he just kind of took off for defense. We're still not really sure why he ended up there, but I wasn't prepared for it to. Slow down that big, and man, really hate it for our guys, hate it for Dig Team 2. Van Lilly's who's on the card tonight, really hate this for him. I felt like we had a good piece if we could just get to the second half of the race. But.
Well, Victor, I know it was relatively quick, but we just wanted to get a word for you. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you next week, bud.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bud.
This is Victor Pfluger, who is unfortunately not in this race anymore. Had a horrendous wreck down the back straightaway to end off stage number 1. Now we get to try and figure out what the heck happened to start stage number 2.
Yeah, we're looking at this replay. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
That's a pretty decent lick.
Brandon, this gonna take us back a couple of years, but that looks eerily similar to a accident yours truly had here at Phoenix one year.
Oh man, yeah, let's take a look. Man, that's so weird the way that they made contact, but even after that, it looks like, I mean, it's hard to tell because physics are weird, right? Like when you watch the race on Sundays, when someone misses the corner, it's obvious that they missed the corner, right? But in iRacing, sometimes when you make contact with somebody, it kind of almost forces you to miss the corner, if that makes sense in a way. So I can't really say if the 01 wouldn't have made the corner or not, but definitely contact between the two. But another thing that we did not update, Alex Coffey speeding on pit road under that last caution. He's trying to make his way back through the field.
Yeah, he's working his way back up. We're working our way towards another restart here. Jordan Schmeets now on the outside on those, going on 52 lap old tires now in that number 22 Beast Mode Performance Machine, but it is going to be Shane Davis down low who has control of this restart. Green flag out here. Here he is early in the restart. He gets himself a good jump, and Brendan Bucky's in the good jump as well.
You can already see through the dogleg 3 wide, coming back to 2 wide. No one really wants to risk it too much just yet. Davis in P1, Jordan Schmeets still sitting P3 side by side for P4 and on. Oh, we have one car on the wall. That's the 78. The outside line jacked up. We have a few cars on the wall. No caution. We say green. And we're coming back to P4 200.
54 laps in the books here. Shane Davis now he has the clean air and.
Oh no. Well, we brought it up early, and it's the beast is showing his head. The chaos is back. And sometimes that's just what happens. Phoenix provides great racing, but when everybody gets stacked up like this and you gotta worry about the dogleg, I mean, your spotter stops working when someone goes on the dogleg. It's not really part of close spotter racing, so it's on racing, so it's really up to everyone's discretion to figure out where the other drivers are at. So I can take a look at what happens.
Looks to be about Jeffrey Taylor area. here heading. Oh, this is actually behind them. Saw that car right at the bottom spinning. That was through the dog leg. I'm not sure who that was. We'll try to get another angle.
Man, iRacing telling us one thing, and then on the replay, it's another. But that's just how much contact they're making. It might have been, right?
Oh, it was the 21 of, who's that?
Oh,
the
man.
21 of Jared Clark.
Yep, and there's a perfect example of what could have happened to Kenny Coppola. Oh, and then there's 2 cars after that, the 91 and the 01, I believe.
Matt Mackett and Nicholas Atwood.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of what could have happened to Kenny. I mean, I think the 21's only mistake was just not locking it up like the 77 did, but this is after the initial wreck. Oh, man.
Oh.
That one's tough. And remember, 17x for a penalty, 25 for a DQ, so some of these drivers probably already got 12, so you really want to be careful. We're not halfway through this race yet, so you want to start keeping your nose clean, maybe backing it down a little bit and realizing, all right, I'm getting into too much trouble. It may not be of my own doing, but we really got to reel her in because we got to get to the end of this race.
Yeah, and we're not even close to halfway here, obviously. Halfway being lap 100. We're working lap 56 here at Phoenix, and it's been a fun race to this point. I feel like I can confidently say it's been a fun race. I mean, of course we've had the cautions, but I mean that's just going to happen at Phoenix. But I mean the racing's been somewhat decent for Phoenix standards.
Oh, absolutely. The racing's been fantastic so far. One thing I would like to do on this restart, I would love to throw it to a crank it up to hear these cars roar around Phoenix, whatever raceway. Like you said at the start, Nick, we can never figure out what this racetrack is called anymore.
Hey, the way I'm going with it, whatever they're calling it this week is what I'll call it tonight.
We'll call it Phoenix.
All right, Phoenix it is. This is going to be Shane Davis and Brandon Bikey up front once again. Jordan Schmeetz and Justin Belmonte, 3rd and 4th. Blaine Wilson, Sean Rogers, your top 6. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Paul Gallimore and Tim Wortman Jr., your top 8. As Shane Davis brings it down towards turn number 3. We'll get back to green flag racing here at Phoenix International Raceway. Here we go. Green flag is back out in the air. Shane Davis gets out in front of his teammate, and Brandon Bikey will get clear of the 22 of Jordan Schmeetz. And Schmeetz, he's holding on pretty well for being on such old tires.
Yeah, holding on really well indeed. No battles for the lead just yet. The 2 cars single file up front, 2 by 2 all the way throughout the pack. Hell, we're 3 wide back here now going into turn 3 and 4. Jeffrey Taylor, excuse me, that's Kenny Coppola, Randy Mullins. Kenny was on the top shelf trying to get it done. But I think this is a perfect time while these cars are all gathered up to send it to a crank it up here on Ballin TV.
Oh, we're wrecking further back. Down the back straightaway, Kenny Coppola sideways. No caution. Somehow, no caution there as Coppola goes spinning down the back straightaway. And the 77 voicing his displeasure over the in-race radio.
Yeah. Sorry about that, boys. I just got back. I thought we were still on the crank it up. My apologies.
Kenny Coppola got turned down the back straightaway, so we had to end it a little bit early.
And I do just want to... Oh, man. Oh, and that could have been disaster because they were 4 wide there for a second, too. All right, One thing I do just want to point out, we do apologize for the freezing and for the people saying that it is unwatchable. But like I said in the comments, please do understand that this is a digital platform, and sometimes iRacing can cause problems. And unfortunately, it is not as simple as closing out and logging back on, because unfortunately, that would mean that we would have to leave the session, completely go blank, and then come back to. We're going to cut to a quick commercial to try to fix it. We apologize again, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Victory Designs 200 here at Phoenix. Hopefully we have everything sorted out now. Again, we do apologize. I do just want to point out that sometimes it is difficult. iRacing from track to track varies on how much memory it takes up, and with all the software that they run and all that good stuff, sometimes it can have complications. Unfortunately, we are not big money like Fox and everybody else is, but you know, Nick, sometimes I'd like to think that our camera coverage is a little better than Fox at some point, so.
Yeah, and I'll add one more thing on to it's going to happen. I mean, it is build week. You do have to remember that. We literally just got a massive iRacing update yesterday. I think it was close to 30 gigabytes
30 gigs,
in size.
yeah, 30 gigs.
So it's build week. I mean, we're not going to be perfect on build week. We're all still getting used to the service in its new state. So like I said, there's also over 20,000 people on iRacing right now at one time, which I mean, for what's tonight, Wednesday night, midweek here in the United States, that's a lot of people to be online iRacing. So we're working through it. I mean, obviously we would love to bring you perfect coverage, but like I said, it does start to look better, but it's build week, so I can't do much about it.
Yeah, and I have it pulled up on my YouTube as well. I mean, at first I noticed a few things here and there, but it looks a lot better now. So thank you everybody for holding tight on that. We appreciate it very much. But yeah, like Nick, you hit the nail on the head. It is build week, so all these new updates, and a lot of people got to remember too, we're all scattered across the United States. So if this server's hosted on the East Coast and someone's on the West Coast, or our producer or anything like that, latency plays a big deal. So we'll keep our mouths closed about it now, because we don't want to drag it out too long. Us here in the broadcast booth, we got racing to focus on here on the track, lap 68 of 200. But please do, in the chat, if there are more problems, please do let us know. We appreciate it very much. And looks like we're back to that single file racing, Nick.
Yeah, single file throughout the majority of the field here, and I feel like this is a staple of Phoenix with the next-gen car. I would love to have the prime tire we had in the Real Cup race here. I feel like that would do wonders for Phoenix Raceway, but like I said, single file not necessarily always a bad thing. Obviously, that means people are trying to save some tires here for the final push for stage points here, as we're coming up on 20 to go here in stage number 2. And look at Shane Davis. Look at this line he is running through 1 and 2.
Yeah, we're starting to see cars move up the track. Now that the tires get older, the car will just start to bog down too much on that inside line, and it really is all about momentum here at Phoenix. You can see the 79 not running the bottom anymore. No one's really running that bottom in 3 and 4. Only a few cars here and there, but let's take a look at how these guys run 1 and 2. You'll see as they go into the corner, yeah, they're just running that second line right now and then cutting it back down across the seam, which I was always told that that's dangerous, but all of these drivers are better than I am, so I have a lot more confidence in their abilities than mine.
Yeah, like I said, it's that old saying, Brandon, I know you absolutely hate when I pull this one out. It's the reason they're on the track and we're in the booth.
No, you're telling me.
Brought up some bad memories there for Brandon.
I have one championship. I have one, just one.
Yeah, you're doing better than me in terms of league racing. I'll still spank you every day in officials, but I mean, you got the league championship. I don't.
Maybe not oval officials, but road courses, you will pull 4 seconds on me in a corner, which is really embarrassing. So, lap 72 of 200. Shane Davis still 1 second over Bikey. Belmonte, Rogers, and Wilson round out the top 5. Gallimore, Mullins, Ruff, Wyatt, Wortman round out your top 10. Fetter Place, Coffee, Davis, Carmichael, and Taylor round out your top 15, with the last car being on the scoring pylon, the 20 car of Nigel Christensen, 5.7 seconds back. Lap 73 of 200. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to Ballin TV. We apologize for everything that happened earlier, but we are here for the Victory Designs 200 at Phoenix. And Nick, is there honestly anything that you're seeing right now that you could see a concern later on in the race? Are we seeing too much crazy tire wear yet? I mean, obviously we don't have to worry about fuel. Are we seeing anybody drop, really hard throughout the field, or anything going on?
The only thing concerning I'm seeing is how consistent Shane Davis is right now. I mean, he is far and away the most consistent car in the field right now, and that spells trouble if Alex Coffey is not able to get back up front, because Shane Davis, he is putting his mark on this race right now. I mean, you look at his last 10 or so laps. I mean, from about lap 63, he has not wavered more than a tenth either way on any of his laps. I mean, he started at a 27.648 lap 63. He just ran a 28.124. And like I said, it has been alarmingly consistent for that number 79 machine.
Yeah, I will point out, though, Coffey started in the second to last row on that restart, and he's already back up to 12th. So, I mean, hopefully his tires withstand. I mean, that first run, he was really, really good on the Goodyear rubber. So, as we're on board with him now, coming down the back straightaway, it looks pretty good to me. It looks like he's setting up for a pass right here. You'll see him jump to the outside a little bit, cut it back down. Back to the throttle quick, a lot quicker than what I was expecting. So be on the lookout for Alex Coffey. I think his goal is to just make it back inside the top 10 for those stage points.
Yeah, Coffey is putting... It's the Coffey and Shane Davis show. That is what we're seeing right now. Coffey and Shane Davis are the fastest cars on track. And from what I've seen from other cars, really has not been incredibly close. I think the next fastest car is Brandon Bikey, and he's about a tenth of a lap off Davis and Coffey. So, like I said, these two definitely have this place figured out.
Yeah, and Coffey's back in traffic, so those lap times that he's running right now are absolutely criminal for the fact that he's back there in dirty air. But lap 78 now, they're ticking by faster now that we're getting some green flag runs going. But the stage caution will come out on the completion of lap 90, so 91 on the ticker, and then hopefully we'll go green from there. And that's really the only concern that we have, is if we do those last 100 so laps, because obviously with the stage being thrown at the completion of lap 90, we'll have some laps under caution that will count, so it won't exactly be 110, but we don't really have to worry about fuel. People are going to come in for tires before then, so it's a tire game at this point.
Alex Coffey about pulled off a 2-for-1 special there through 1 and 2. He just about passed Brandon Fetterplace and Tim Wortman Jr. in the same corner. And that was insane to watch, but he got loose and wasn't able to get both moves done. But they are going to be 3 wide heading into turn 1.
Oh, Alex Coffey almost getting into the side. A Fetterplace there, my goodness. 19 machine absolutely rolling back inside the top 10. Can he get more? 10 laps to go in the stage.
He's back in the stage points, so that penalty pretty much undone. Not quite to where he was, but I mean, he's going to get points out of this stage, it looks like. So Alex Coffey has undone all the damage from that speeding penalty he got at the end of stage number 1. So Alex Coffey is officially back on for what was a dominant stage 1. So he wants to get back up towards Shane Davis as quickly as he can.
The first car to officially DNF and leave the session tonight was the 24 machine of Ryan Huff. Pfluger and Matthews are still in here holding strong, 31 and 36 laps down respectively, trying to get all that damage fixed and maybe come back out on track. They might have enough time. I don't know about Victor, because he got absolutely punted on the back straightaway after hitting the inside wall, so we'll have to keep an eye on those guys. But at that point, I mean, Nick, in a series as close as this, every point counts. So if you can gain a spot or two by just getting your car fixed and going back out, it's worth it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, literally every point matters, especially with the playoff system. I mean, it could come down to a singular point, and we've seen it come down to a singular point on whether you make the next round or not, both in real life and in sim, Brandon. I mean, you and I both remember, oh gosh, what was it? MPI Xfinity Series. That's a throwback for you. What? Almost 3 years ago now. If I remember correctly, I believe one of those rounds came to someone missing the championship race by, I think, like a point or something like that. So you are absolutely right.
I can't remember the name. I'm trying, and I think the person that got in by that 1 point was the gentleman who went on to win the championship. I think it was Alex Huffman, actually.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and there's some people that in here that'll know that name. If you do, shout out. But I mean, like I said, it was, I'm talking closest margins you can have. So when we say every point matters, we absolutely mean every point matters, especially in a series like this with so many big names.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I think NASCAR's has, you know, a 50-50 decision going on how it works. Like, yes, every point matters. You know, obviously not as much as it used to back in the day when we were running the whole season worth of points with no playoffs. I just really hope that they make an adjustment to the playoff format, because yes, every point does indeed matter, but the Final Four in the championship, I just can't justify it, especially when your average finish is 17.5, but we're going to ignore that for
Joey
now.
Logano.
Yeah, Joey Logano is right. And Colt Bleskowski, the second car to officially DNF from this race. He scored 2 laps down now.
Just locked up, about sent Randy Mullins for a ride.
Yeah, I think Alex Coffey just came over the radio and said apologize for that. Nicholas Atwood now 1 lap down in the 91 machine, but that's going to be a spot for Aaron Matthews and Victor Pfluger if they can manage to come back out onto the track at some point. So, like we were just saying, every point does matter, but keeping an eye on the 19 here, he's peeking his nose to the inside of the 54 machine going into turn 3. How much more can Alex Coffey get? We're coming to the close of stage 2, and then we won't have any more stages from here on out. So Alex is just trying to pick up all the points that he can.
Yeah, and once we get past this second stage, I mean, that's where we separate the men from the boys. We're going to figure out who's good at tire saving and who's not too hot when it comes to saving the rubber. So this third stage is going to be interesting. It's going to be probably a 50-60 lap run either way, depending on if you want to run long first and have that second shorter stint, or if you want to run short for that first one. So we'll see a mix in strategy here for sure, just a matter of who's willing to do what's necessary to gain that track position to win this race, like Alex Coffey's doing. I mean, he's knocking on the door of 5th spot here.
Shane Davis from him to 31st place, 20.0 seconds, so putting on a gap. White flag in the stage.
White flag is correct, as Shane Davis has, oh my goodness, just eked this gap out. I mean, upwards of a second now between him and Brandon Bikey. As coming off of turn number 2, it is actually exactly a second heading down the back straightaway and down into turn number 3. Shane Davis picks up where he left off as Circuit of the Americas. He takes stage number 2 here at Phoenix.
He's going to take stage 2, followed by Bikey, Rogers, Belmonte, Wilson rounding out the top 5. Coffey, Gallimore, Ruff, Mullins, and Fetter Place rounds out the top 10 as the yellow comes out. And why don't we send it to a commercial break while we're under stage caution here, and we'll bring it back to you once we go back green here at Phoenix.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live here at the Diamond of the Desert here for the OB Builders Cup Series as they are working the into stage number 2 here at Phoenix. And Mr. Shane Davis took home said stage number 2 as we just had pit stops finish here as we get ready to start stage number 3 of the Victory Designs 200 from Phoenix. And it's been a pretty good race so far, Brandon. I mean, we've had our fair share of racing. We've had a few lead changes. And of course, as if we could go past any Phoenix race without mentioning it, the wrecks have been huge.
Yeah, some of the wrecks haven't been too bad. But I do just want to touch, Victor Fluger did say in the YouTube chat, car is too damaged to be repaired. So sorry for the false hope, Victor. I'm sorry that I said we could probably get you back out there, but this is where things start to get dangerous, Nick. Everybody out on the racetrack now has fresh Goodyear tires. No more stage breaks until the end. This is where the tire strategy starts coming into play. Who's going to do the long first stint, the short second stint, and most importantly, who is going to make the aggressive passes in that dog leg? Pace car's in. We're about to go back green.
Don't look now. Alex Coffey back up at 6th spot. He's looking hungry for that number 79 machine, but coming down through 3 and 4. It's going to be Shane Davis with control. He hits it early. Green flag back out of the air here at Phoenix International Raceway, or Phoenix Raceway, excuse me. And Shane Davis is going to launch it down towards turn number 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shane was cutting it pretty close on that restart. I know they said they can't go below the yellow line before the start-finish line, but I think that left front just barely nicked the yellow line, but I don't think they'll look at that and go, that's penalty worthy. The whole car wasn't underneath of it, so I think he'll be fine. But here comes Alex Coffey looking to the inside of Justin Belmonte. Blaine Wilson up there in front of him there. Oh, Belmonte with a daring move down to the inside through the dog leg as they go side by side into turn 1. And Sean Rogers up to P3 now. Sean Rogers started 19th. So count him in for a contender in this race.
Beast mode performance 1-2 for sure. It is a 1-2-3, excuse me. I forgot Sean Rogers was a part of that beast mode camp, but Justin Belmonte going to get into the 18 of Blaine Wilson off of turn number 4 and give him a little shoulder check coming to the start finish line.
Yeah, almost got into it there. You can see these boys are driving these cars now. Belmonte trying to get every spot he can. He knows it's hard to pass the 18, barely to his outside on corner exit. Thankfully, the 60 noticed, and I think Alex Coffey's just letting these boys settle it out. He's going to wait for that side draft, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the 19. Yep, there he goes down to the inside on the dog leg, 3 wide. And he doesn't have quite enough momentum, but he might get 2 for 1 here. Wilson up top, Belmonte's stuck in the middle, Coffey on the bottom. Belmonte's going to throttle up. Oh, and they're going to make a little bit of contact, and that's going to give Alex Coffey another run, but I don't think he's going to look to the inside.
Almost had the 2 for 1 lunch special to the number 19 there through 1 and 2, and he may have another chance at it here as we start lap 99 at Phoenix. Belmonte still to the inside of the number 18 of Blaine Wilson. Coffey, I think, has just settled on not passing him just yet. I think he's trying to save a little bit of tire.
Warren Young in the 1 car, he has disconnected, so another DNF here tonight. The 1 machine, he's off. Kenny Coppola, he is 1 lap down. I am just noticing this, Nick. What happened?
I won't lie here. I just learned that as well. I had no idea that he was a lap down. Apparently got the Warren Young incident on replay as to why. Oh, Warren Young up in the wall. I think he just parked it. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, big hit for him, my goodness. Yeah, I'm trying to go back and look. I don't see where the 77 machine went a lap down, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But Kenny Coppola, who was strong earlier on, he's 1 lap down in P30.
Well, we just took the halfway flag here at Phoenix. Shane Davis leads halfway. Centennial Mark in Arizona as we work halfway. And like I said, Alex Coffey, speaking of the devil, just smacked the wall off of turn number 2. Doesn't look like any noticeable damage for the number 19, but that number 19 is struggling a little bit to start the run.
Yeah, struggling. But he'll get back up there. He was so strong on the long run last time. He has enough speed, so it seems like he's burning this stuff. But he's not. He's just absolutely going to work.
Yeah, off of turn number 2, not quite good enough of a run to make a pass down into 3. But this is where the passes start to get harder. These are the fastest guys in the field right here, Alex Coffey. So you had your fun getting through, I don't know, 30-something cars in stage number 2. Now you actually have to work for your passes. And here he goes again to the inside of the 60 of Belmonte. And Belmonte's going to get tied off of 3 now.
Yeah, and Coffey doesn't want to use too much. He knows that the side-by-side battles are really going to kill his right side tires, so he really wants to try to set it up to have it be a one and done. He doesn't want to be side-by-side for a few laps because that's just harder that he's going to have to
that's going to help
the corner. Yeah,
that's going to help. Belmonte slapped the wall off of 4.
Yeah, now Alex, all he's got to do is dive it in, maybe push him up a little bit. This isn't what he wants to see. He does not want to be side by side because with him not being able to go all the way up to the wall, that's going to pinch his exit a little bit, and that's going to add a little bit more heat to that right front. So we'll keep an eye on that. And another driver to keep an eye on is that 32 machine of Matt Cox. He's in the top 10, started 35th in tonight's race.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed. Justin Belmonte, he is the Ryan Newman of this league. He is very, very hard to pass.
Oh, but he's not a pain in the ass like Ryan Newman is. I can tell you that much right now. I mean, Ryan Newman used to be a
downright bully.
Oh my goodness. I mean, if Belmonte was a lap down, I guarantee you he would be more polite than Ryan Newman. I mean, it's 4 positions, so give him all the rights in the world, but he may be Ryan Newman on the lead lap, but if he were ever a lap down, I think Belmonte has the respect for all these gentlemen in the field to let them by, but he is putting on one hell of a fight for P5.
Yeah, and Coffey, he's definitely burning some tire here. I mean, this is going on way longer than I think he wanted it to go. I think he only wanted this battle to last a quarter. We're going on 4 laps now between these two.
Yeah, 4 laps is 3 laps too many if you're a driver in that 19 machine. Looks like he's going to clear him on entry this time. Sent an absolute Hail Mary into the corner. Parks it right in front of the 60 and says, all right.
Oh, but Belmonte may get back to the inside here. No, he backs out of it.
Yeah, now the 19, I think what he needs to do now is just cool off that right front. Let it come back to him. You're going to go and take tires anyway, so maybe in a situation like this, when you're a driver, when you have a side-by-side battle like that for so long, maybe you have to do the long stint on the second side now, because the one thing I will say, Nick, that I have noticed is the person who usually pits first doesn't always have the advantage, but the car that goes a lap or 2 later does. I feel like the tire difference is so much here at Phoenix that you don't want to wait 6, 7, 8 laps to come down pit road after the first car has already pitted, because they're just going to make up so much time. And then there might not be enough laps at the end. There might be too much traffic for you to have to go through. You might get stuck in those side-by-side battles. So if I'm sitting in that 19 car right now, all right, I might be the 2nd or 3rd car to come down pit road. As soon as people start pitting, I'm going to pit and see if I can gain some track position when those guys stay out on track and they're slow on old tires.
Yeah, the undercut is historically not something that's typically used in NASCAR. A lot of people tend to go for the overcut, but yeah, you put it perfectly. Yeah, this is the one track I feel like the undercut is just overpowered, and we'll definitely see that tonight. I feel like Alex Coffey is the prime candidate to at least try an undercut here for sure. I mean, I couldn't sit here and tell you how long he's thinking about going. I mean, like I said, there's the reason that he's on the track and we're in the booth. So I already know he's got a strategy, though, that the Dig Esports guys are going to be following, because for whatever reason, those Dig Esports cars just always find themselves up front late.
Yeah, and you know me, if I was in that 19 car right now, I'd be asking all my teammates, when are you guys pitting? When are you guys pitting? When do you think I should pit? Should I come and take tires, or when should I do that? And
then if it was on our team, Alex Murray would yell, "Shut up and race your race."
Yep, and then the moment he came down pit road, I'd pit, and then I'd get trapped the lap down because a caution came out, and he goes, see, should have waited. So
should have waited.
as the 19's looking to the inside of his teammate, Blaine Wilson.
Oh, caution.
And there's the yellow flag.
Oh, we spoke it into existence. Good job, Brandon.
Oh man, we got to stop talking about caution.
Everyone clown him. I want to see Brandon being clowned in YouTube chat.
No clown emojis, please.
Yes, do it. He deserves it. Brandon deserves it.
Oh man, Nigel Christensen's.
He get the word.
Man, the left front the tire is in the engine bay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's not good.
That's a big hit. I mean, even the right side, you can see the tire glitching through the fender.
What happened, Sir Nigel Christensen? Oh, Ty Gibbs.
Oh my!
Oh man, and he got clocked by Jordan Schmeets. Oh, and just one
Add
more
insult to injury. No.
Yup.
Well, every
Ouch.
single lead lap car is on pit road.
Ooh. Now here's the question. No, they're not going to go all the way. They can make it on fuel. Fuel window's 90 to 92 laps.
Them cars will be screeching. They'll be
yeah.
No, those tires will be cording by the end of the run if
Yeah,
they try to go this long.
If they go this long, we're going to have to worry about someone blowing a right front.
Here comes Sean Rogers. Oh, Alex Coffey advanced. I think Alex Coffey just advanced 2 positions off of pit road. He did. Alex Coffey up to P3 coming off of pit road. What a stop by him and his team.
Uh-oh.
Now, here's the thing. In real life, you obviously always thank your pit crew, right? So in iRacing, I know that there's this weird algorithm. All the pit stops will not be the same time. Obviously, it's determined by how deep you are in the stall, how you get in the stall, but obviously there's no mistakes on pit road. But when you have such a good pit stop like that, I mean, when you enter the box perfectly, you just got to give it to those virtual men that only they can see. I wish we could see the tire changers is what I'm trying to get at.
I've heard that that's something that's on the list of things to go in because we all know the new UI, like the brand new in-race UI. That's the next biggest thing iRacing's working on. But they said in the dev update that there's a lot of quality of life things they're working on that are going to be changed within the next couple of seasons. I mean, we have the new UI coming for sure that we know about. We've heard that IndyCar animated pit stops are coming as well. So we'll have to see what all gets released here in the near future as Shane Davis once again has control of this restart. Him and Brandon Bikey up front for what feels like the 3rd or 4th restart in a row, but we got a new challenger up front in Alex Coffey. Dominated stage 1, but got a speeding penalty at the stage break while we were under commercial. He's back up front, and he wants this lead back from Shane Davis, but Davis gonna hit the restart early. Coffey, though, on his rear end as green flag is back out of the air here at Phoenix.
Green flag back out. Coffey with a decent restart. Keep an eye out on Sean Rogers in that outside line as well. Side by side is Coffey with Bikey. Now Blaine Wilson to the inside of Sean Rogers. 3 wide back in the pack. Shane Wyatt, he's going to try to make a move on the inside.
Oh, Kevin Ruff just gets turned in front of the field. Caution is out.
Oh, and that could have been a lot worse than it was. I saw something. Shane was peeking his nose underneath that 14 car. Then all hell just broke loose after that.
Well, if they're going to push it to the end of the race, this is how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Get a look here what happened. Just absolute chaos through 1 and 2.
Well, you can see right here, the 14 drifts up the track. Shane puts his nose underneath of him. Yeah, Shane just gets a little tight, I think.
I'm going to call that they were both going for the same piece of tarmac there.
Oh, absolutely.
Or excuse me, asphalt. I forgot.
And then it looked like everything was okay. Shane was locking it down, just grab a new set of tires and
boom.
Bam. Yep. And that's not going to help at all.
And the 25 and the 12 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and then the 2's going to come in, bop, right into the side of the 14. Oh, man.
Okay, never mind.
And that's a hard thing to do at this racetrack. I mean, it's another track where we're surrounded by walls on both sides, so there's not really a place to go. You'll see that at Dover, you'll see it at Martinsville, you'll see it at Bristol, you'll see it here. A lot of tracks with walls on both sides, and I mean, the front straightaway is the place that you're gonna wanna wreck if you do get spun, but the back straightaway, it's just gonna start to look like whatever the name of the interstate is in Los Angeles. I don't care enough to know, but you know what I mean.
And I'm going to bring in a little bit of knowledge that I already know is going to tick you off because you're going to say, why do I know this? But I'll tell you why Phoenix is so much different compared to Dover, Martinsville, and other tracks that have walls on either side. Dover, Martinsville, and tracks like that, they're self-cleaning. So the back stretch and the front stretch are tilted towards the inside wall, which means wrecks are automatically going to move down towards that inside wall. Phoenix is completely flat, especially on the back straightaway. So when it comes to wrecks on the back straightaway, it automatically becomes a traffic jam because there's nowhere to go. I mean, it's not a self-clearing track, so it automatically makes wrecks a lot bigger.
Los Angeles County on any freeway at a 4 a.m. on a Thursday is pretty much what that is, unfortunately. But Alex Coffey sitting in P3 trying to get back up there. Brandon Bikey on the outside in P2 to that 79 of Shane Davis. Shane Davis putting on another clinic in the second half of this race, just like he did at COTA. And it seems like that's the story of Shane Davis so far this year, is he's going to let someone dominate the first half of the race. He's going to make a call. He's going to get up there, and then he's going to dominate the second half, just like last week at COTA when we thought the 54 of Randy Mullins was going to win the race, and then Davis came out of nowhere and won the thing. So
it's all going to be determined here in the next 80 laps as Shane Davis and Brandon Bikey up front once again. Alex Coffey, Blaine Wilson, third and fourth. Green flag back out in the air here at Phoenix as Shane Davis gets another good jump on the restart. Alex Coffey gets cleared by Bikey as they head down to turn one.
Yeah, not as great as a restart this time, but that might be a blessing in disguise for him. He's not going to be side by side with Bikey. He's just going to be in tow behind him now. So maybe this is where he settles in behind these three. And I mean, Davis has better long run speed than Bikey, I feel like. I feel like Coffey might have a little bit better long run pace than the 27 as well. So just wait for that to die out and then be right behind Shane Davis. And then whatever he does for strategy, do the opposite of it. As I spoke too soon, here comes Alex Coffey to the inside of Brandon Bikey.
Well, like I said, we said it earlier, Shane Davis and Alex Coffey are the best cars in the field, followed closely by Brandon Bikey as Coffey gets a little bit loose off of turn number 2, down into turn number 3, side by side for second place between Coffey and Bikey. And coming off of turn number 4, looks like it's going to be Alex Coffey's way, but here comes Sean Rogers to the inside. We're going to be 3 wide for second place down into turn number 1.
Oh man, and I can tell you, I knew Sean Rogers was going to do that. Racing with him before, he's an aggressive driver. He's not a dirty one, but he's aggressive.
Oh, Bikey's going to get turned. Coffey gets turned in the middle of the field. Caution is out, and we've got a huge wreck. Kenny Coppola's involved as well.
Oh, look out.
Oh. Man.
And the 99 of Preston Puryear was just given an EOL penalty, so I believe he has reached the penalty mark for incident points. Oh, man, I was literally just about to say Sean Rogers is an aggressive driver, but right when he got tight, you could see him back out of the throttle, and that might have just saved his race because look at what happens in front of him on this replay.
Man.
You can see, like, right here, I was like, oh, the 44 is going to get in there, but right here when he gets tight, he's a clean driver. He's going to let off, and then I think, oh, man.
Oh, and Matt Cox nowhere to go. Looks like he got off relative. Oh, and then Coffey just gets cleaned out by Kenny Coppola. And I believe, I didn't catch who that was. I think it was the 42 of Corey Moore.
Yeah, someone got tagged again, but yeah, right here I was like, Sean Rogers always makes moves like this and always makes them clean. He's never the one to, you know, when he's getting tight, get into you and take you out. But I think him getting tight right there put the air on the 19, and And the rest is just history.
And that's what happens. Oh, man.
Yeah, and Taylor gets into the back of somebody as well and spun them down into turn 3. And Kenny Coppola has officially disconnected as well. Oh, man. What could have been the drive of the year for the 19.
Man, that was shaping up to be a very, very good race between Alex Coffey and Shane Davis.
Oh, but don't
unfortunately,
get us wrong. It's still going to be a good race because now we got these boys and Blaine Wilson up here, and Matt Cox started 35th up to 4th.
I will say that there's a chance someone else could take this race, but nobody had race-winning speed like Alex Coffey or Shane Davis have had so far. I have not seen anyone else in this field that has speed like that.
And if I'm Shane Davis, I'm thinking, man, am I glad I'm up here. I don't want to be back there. Oh, please. Oh.
Well, I mean, technically that started right behind him. So
yeah. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I bet he's glad he's out front.
Well, 126 laps down. We got about 75 to go here from Phoenix. And it's been a good one. Been a very, very good race as Shane Davis now gonna line back up to get these guys going once again from Phoenix. I feel like I've said that 100 times tonight. Anyway, green flag back out in the air here at Phoenix. Bikey gets a shocker. I mean, wow. Blaine Wilson to his inside as they head towards turn 1.
Yeah, Blaine Wilson gave him a little bit of the tap on the door, but that's going to allow the 79 of Shane Davis to pull away by 2 car lengths, still side by side behind him. Will we see more?
Oh, yes, we will. Oh, contact. Mikey's going to turn Blaine Wilson into the outside wall, but they keep it straight.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oh, Bikey just cleans Blaine Wilson out.
Oof.
Oh.
If the replay shows what I think it shows, no further comment from me.
Yeah, same. We're gonna keep our mouth shut if we think we saw what we just saw.
We're gonna. I mean, it looked like. Yeah,
this started on the restart because Blaine Wilson side drafted the ever-loving you-know-what out of Bikey.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And in here, they make a little bit of contact off of 2. Yeah, right here, Blaine Wilson just comes up a little bit more than I think Bikey was expecting. Bikey clears him into the wall.
Oh, and then...
Oh.
Yeah, that's just...
Oh, and Matt Cox, nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean...
No further comment from the booth.
The first one's hard to say, right? Because we don't know. I mean, they just got into each other, so we don't know if Bikey's still trying to save the car coming down the track, or if he just thought, okay, I just got put into the wall. So,
in Brandon Bikey's defense, he came over driver chat and said he was in a 4-wheel slide when he made contact with Blaine Wilson. Take a listen here. No further comment.
I'm going to use the rights given to me by my amendment to stay silent. A few cars coming down pit road, but now we got Belmonte up there in P2. Oh, man, the whole field is flip-flopped.
Oh,
The only person that's really stayed the same is the 79 machine of Shane Davis.
All right, listen to this. Listen to this. This is your top 5 right now. Shane Davis leading. I mean, he's been up here all night. Belmonte's been in the top 5 all night. I mean, he's had a good car. He started 11th. Brandon Bikey's in 3rd. I mean, he's been the second place car for the majority of the night. Here's where it gets funny. Chris Davis in the 74. He started 12th. He's up in 4th. Jeffrey Taylor is in 5th, and he started 24th in this race. So talk about big movers up front.
You know who might have this worked out for? Alex Coffey. He needed another caution quick because he's on fresh tires, and I think he might have one more set. So if he can run this long, 70 laps, I mean, it's a stretch, but everyone up front still might have to come in for tires.
What's that old saying? Anything can happen, and especially here at Phoenix as we get going once again. Green flag back out into the air here at Phoenix. Mikey with another good start. Gets to the rear for his teammate, 79 Shane Davis. Peeks a nose to the inside. Doesn't think about a move, though. Gallimore gets up in the third, so beast mode 1, 2, 3 right now.
And these guys are going at it, and they're going to keep going at it. I don't think we're done just yet. Oh, man, now we're seeing the blocks, the dive bombs. We're seeing all of it.
Hey, man, this has been the first 8 round of the fight. We're in round 9 right now. 2.5 minutes left in this round, and Haymakers are getting ready to throw.
Yeah, Haymakers. I think we're going to see more than Haymakers at the end of this race.
Oh, yeah, we've got a whole nother round, man. I don't know what you're talking about yet, but we still got a whole nother round. This one may be good to judge a score.
And I
a little box from those boxing fans.
Shane Davis, man, I'm surprised Brandon Bike, he still has tires underneath them with how much that they were locking up. Justin Belmonte, he might be in the perfect position to steal this away. Paul the Gallimore, we haven't really talked about him much today. He's up in P4.
Like I said, a lot of big movers in this field. Jordan Schmeets, after getting absolutely bullied tonight, finally pulls him back behind the wall. I think his final count of being a bystander, I think he ended up at 4.
Lap 134 of 200. Since we're getting down close to it, I think this is a good time because we want to watch all the strategy and everything that plays out if we do have more cautions. So I think it's a good time to, let's say, throw it to our last commercial break of the night. And we'll come back and give you non-stop coverage when we come back for the Victory Designs 200 here at Phoenix.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Phoenix Raceway for the Victory Designs 200 here tonight. Hopefully that fixed it all up. I was starting to notice it just at about the time that you guys were. We had the stands turned off, but then they magically got turned back on. No fault of ours. iRacing can be a hoot sometimes, unfortunately. But it looks like everything's back under control again. It's what fixed it last time. Lap 1, we're coming to 140 of 200. Shane Davis already up to a 9/10 of a second lead over Brandon Bikey. A little bit of trouble behind Alex Coffey, but we stayed green as we see the 32s pulled it behind the wall. He's called it a night. Alex Coffey trying to make his way back up through the field. He's already back up to 8th spot after that crash earlier on in the race. So this could play into his hands, Nick, where he came down, got those tires. Everybody in front of him might still need tires, but if this goes all the way to the end, Alex Coffey could sneak away.
Yeah, he's in the perfect spot right now. Of course, he's got a little bit of damage he's dealing with right now, but Like I said, he is in the prime spot right now. He's got about, I don't know, 20-ish lap fresher tires than everyone else. So, granted, those 20 laps weren't run under a lot of green flag racing, but still, 20 laps is 20 laps, especially at Phoenix.
Yeah, one thing I want to talk about is how good these beast mode cars are here today. Kenny Coppola helping build the setups for all of these cars, and he's hit the nail on the head the past few weeks. I mean, Shane Davis, I've raced with him before. He has always been good, but I've never seen this level of domination from Shane Davis before, especially with so much talent here in the field. So Shane Davis really turning it up a notch. I don't know if he's still, getting coaching from Sean or what it may be, but he's really figured something out. And if this is how it's going to be all year long, you might as well just cancel the rest of the season and give it to him now, because it is going to be a long year for all these other drivers if this is how it's going to look every week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those beast mode cars have definitely shown that they are one of the top forces here in the OB Builders Cup Series, but you got to remember, Brandon, it's a long season. There's still over 30 races left to go before we crown a champion. And like I said, a lot can happen. A lot's going to happen in the span of 30 races, but a lot can happen even in just one race. So, like I said, it is a long season, and we are nowhere close to being done with it. So,
thank you, Kelly, for the nice comments. Did a good job Sunday for the Race for a Ride series. BD was very pleased. Yeah, I was very surprised. First time commentating on my own, and I felt like a cornball the entire time. I felt like I was just talking to myself, which technically I was, but
I mean, Brandon, you are a cornball, so that
I am a little bit of a cornball, but
like
Sunday,
I said, it's up to me to bring you back down to earth. Sorry, that's all I have to say.
No, this not this Sunday, but the next Sunday will be a lot better. We're gonna go a lot more in depth with the series. We're gonna do some driver spotlights, pull some pictures off of their Facebooks, pretty much just showcase the talent that these young kids have, this next generation of race car drivers, and just how much of a good opportunity they have, even if they're already in solid equipment. I mean, one race, Nick. I mean, I know you know a little bit about the series and I've told you about it, but one race that you can take it off of the parents' shoulders or the race team shoulders where it's fully funded on NASCAR weekend, spring of 2026. I mean, that could be huge for someone under the age of 18.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stories. I mean, I can't remember who it was, but someone, if you know who it is, but let me know. But there was someone, I cannot remember off the top of my head, but they had one of those funded rides from a giveaway, and they ended up going out and winning that race, and that's what kickstarted their career into NASCAR. I can't remember for the life of me who it was, but they had a pretty good career as well. So, like I said, one ride can change it all.
I wish I knew, because that's a total moment. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about, but I believe it. It's happened all over the country. We've seen drivers, whether it's a kid who works a part-time job after school to work his ass off essentially and get money to pay a team to let him race for one race, and then he does so good that the whole team's like, all right, well, you're in the car for the rest of the year, or and it's a series for kids 13 to 18. Oh, Blaine Wilson almost. He's still fighting it. He's good, though. But anyway, ages 13 to 18, which you can find here on Ballin TV. I believe the next race is, pardon me for a second. The next race is going to be March 23rd. And we'll have that coverage here on Ballin TV. 13 to 18-year-olds all fighting for a battle put together by Freight Racing, the late model team based out of Georgia, and Speed University. Accredited school, homeschooling for kids who are racing all over the country, have a busy life on the road, don't have to worry about a busy school schedule. Homework can be included in working on the car, math credits, science credits, all sorts of stuff. So if anyone watching has a child who is currently racing and might be interested in doing more than just racing at a local track, definitely check out Speed U and their website. But back to the race here, 150 out of 200 laps.
Yeah, Shane Davis has he has just extended his lead. I mean, he has officially put the death grip on this race right now. It's not quite over, but I mean, he's strengthening that grip on that win.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1.4 seconds out with 50 laps to go. How long are these tires going to last? Alex Coffey up to P5, though, only 2.4 seconds back. We'll have to keep an eye out on the laps. Actually, I'll take a look at the laps right here. That last lap, Shane Davis ran a 28.228, and Alex Coffey ran a 28.1, so they might be starting to even out. But over the long run, that gap could grow bigger. And if Shane starts to lose that right front and he comes down pit road, I think we're right on the cut to where Alex Coffey could potentially steal this thing. The only thing that he would have to calculate is how many laps do I have with them on fresh tires before I start to get caught? Because they'll start running insane lap times. You know, they'll start running low 27s, maybe even a high 26 if they're lucky. Because Alex Coffey's fastest lap right now is on lap 2 at a 27.3, so you really got to factor that in. If it's over a second difference, I mean, man, you never know, Nick.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. You know what? I'm going to take it into the cockpit real quick. I mean, you and I, Brendan, we both race, so we both know exactly kind of what this race is going to come down to. And if I'm in the seat right now, if I'm in Alex Coffey's shoes right now, I know I'm gaining time. Yeah, I know I'm gaining time. I'm pushing as hard as I can right now. But we did say we thought he was going to go a lot longer. But we see Alex Coffey is pushing, and here's why. This is exactly what's going to happen. Mark my words. Shane Davis is going to pit here probably in the next 20 or so laps, just to excuse me, get his final pit stop out of the way, because these tires are not going to last another 45 laps. There's no way. Just no way. You're going to blow a tire before you get to the end of this race. If I'm Alex Coffey, I am all out push here because I know Shane Davis has to pit one more time. I know Shane Davis has to pit. So if I'm Alex Coffey, I'm pulling it down almost as soon as Shane Davis pits here. I'm going to be on the exact same tires. This is going to be an even playing field if Shane Davis does end up pitting again.
Well, even at 2.4 seconds back, I mean, do you think it would be worth to take right sides only? I mean, I don't know. I definitely haven't raced at all at Phoenix. Don't judge me. But, I mean, my goodness. I mean, we could see all sorts of different things play out. It might not be worth it, but for just that chance, I mean, he's still 2.6 back. It was 2.4. His last lap was a 28.354. And Shane Davis's last lap was a 28.346. So...
got to remember, Coffey is in dirty air right now. He's got to pass Justin Belmonte, and Davis is in clean air, but he does have some lap traffic. And when I say some, I mean just a little bit of lap traffic, and it's literally only Nicholas Atwood. So Davis has a little bit of lap traffic to work through, but Alex Coffey still has a lot of work to do to catch up to the 79 of Shane Davis.
You know, and I almost don't want to say it. I was going to ask, will we have another one? But I will not refer to what that one is, because I'll feel like a magician if I say the word and all of a sudden it comes out. I'll have to leave the booth at that point because I would feel so bad. But Alex Coffey is cruising.
I can explain it. It's Phoenix. It's going to happen. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we're not saying the word because we don't want to bring it out. It's called the commentator's curse. We're not saying it.
It's the flag that is the color yellow. Oh no! Even that's the word.
Oh no! Brandon did it. If the word comes out, then we all blame Brandon.
I already said yellow. So if the caution comes out, then
I would have laughed so hard if a caution would have come out there.
I would feel horrible if a caution came out.
Well, Alex Coffey has gotten past Justin Belmonte. That was a lot quicker of a battle than I thought it would be, as we saw them fight it out at the start of stage 2. So that one was a lot easier. Woo! Man, Sean Rogers about got turned there. We don't want it to come out.
I'm holding my breath.
Okay, you know what? We're going to sound weird if we keep going here. If a caution were to come out, this race would be turned on its head right now, and Sean Rogers and Justin Belmonte are fighting like one's getting ready to.
I can't take it no more. I can't. Oh, man. And lap car letting all these drivers by. Good on him. We're still focusing on the battle between Rogers and the 60 machine of Belmonte because that was such a close call. Slower car is going to let everybody by here. Jeffrey Taylor, good run for him in P6 tonight. As you can see the 91 car getting out of the way. Good run for that 74 machine of Chris Davis as well.
Literally getting ready to bring it up. Chris Davis up in the top 5, and we have not seen him up in the top 5 very much.
Yeah, good race for him, working his way from the back to the front. 39 laps to go. Davis holding on to a 2-second lead. Alex Coffey 3 seconds back, but slowly eating at it here and there. His biggest challenge, I know for a fact, will be getting past Brandon Bikey. Bikey's not going to want to give that spot up, and he knows that he has a teammate out in front of him. And if he gets past Bikey, then Bikey might understand that, hey, like, Alex might have a chance at this thing, because he probably knows what exactly Shane's going to do in terms of strategy. So don't be surprised if we get a really good fight out of Bikey here, which all props to him. I mean, if I was in the same boat as Brandon Bikey, I'd do the same thing. Hell, I'd block the guy down the straightaway and hold him up as much as I could. I mean, that's my teammate out there. When he wins, I win. When he feels good at the end of the night, the whole team feels good. We all did something right. You know, we may have not finished where we thought we were, but as long as one of us wins, it goes back to the Prodigy days, Nick, when there were 11 of us in a league. we dominated until the second Dover race. I mean, every time we won, the rest of the night, we were talking in Discord, playing games, just having a good time, and then that first time we didn't win, we were like, oh, okay.
Ew, this sucks.
Yeah, so if it was me in P2, Alex Coffey would have a handful. But he's a lot better than me, so he just put a bumper to me and I'd wreck myself because I suck. And we move on from that.
Yeah, like I said, there's a reason you're a commentator.
Well, there's a reason we're both up here, unfortunately.
Yep.
Oh, 3 wide. There goes
we're
the
gonna be
74
3 wide.
machine of Chris Davis down to the bottom.
Chris Davis thought about sticking it 3 wide in 1 and 2. Remember, this is where we saw that wreck earlier. I mean, oh man, they thought about going 3 wide. Davis, I think, is just going to sit here and just kind of watch this. I don't think he wants to cause anything.
Yeah, wait for them to make a
As
mistake.
I say that, though.
Wait for them to make a mistake and pounce on it. You could see that Sean Rogers was a little slow coming out of 4, but I think that's just because the 74 drove it in there a little deep. They're still side by side. What a battle we got for P5 right now.
3-car getting ready to turn into a 4-car battle. Ooh, Rogers gets a little bit squirrely off of 2 there. Now he's going to dive it down to the inside of Belmonte. And remember, this is for 4th spot. This is a 4-car battle for 4th.
And this is the great racing that we like to see. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes in officials, you can get a side-by-side battle for 2 laps before somebody absolutely doors you just to move you out of the way. But the patience that these guys are showing here tonight, just to show respect to all the competitors, they know that they're going to be here all week for the next, 32 more races that we got, or whatever the math is on that, I don't know. But Sean Rogers showing amazing patience. But Sean Rogers has been here before. I believe he won the league championship in SNN this past year, so he's used to 100% length races. So this is easy to him. Rogers has been doing full-length races for the last 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years now. So he's going to be a kid to keep an eye out on for this whole
and you got to remember, he's making a campaign in the full-length cup challenge as well, I believe.
Absolutely.
I think he is in the full-length cup challenge, which is another full-length 100% series league that has a lot of big names in there as well. So that's another fun one if y'all want another league to watch on Saturday nights. There's a very fun, very fun series to watch. Jeez, I couldn't get it out.
I think the tires have evened out for Alex Coffey, back to 3.1 seconds behind, but still, what a drive to get up there to P3. But another person to really highlight is your leader, Shane Davis, absolutely dominating the second half of this race. Another good run for Brandon Bikey as well after mishap last week at COTA. So I think this is the rebound that both of these gentlemen in second and third needed. Alex going around in turn 1 last week.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. Sean Rogers just about looped it off of 2. I mean, Chris Davis almost did it as well, but wow.
So tires starting to come into play here. Taking a look at a replay.
Gonna look at this. I mean, he's coming off of 2, and both of them nearly looped it. I don't think this is the maybe. No, it wasn't. I think it was next lap where they almost spun. I believe it was coming off of 2 here.
Yeah, you can already start to see the car kind of get upset right there.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, they both had to come back down the track to save it. But a save by those two.
Yeah, Sean Rogers is falling back pretty far now. He's lost 3 spots in the last 2 laps, and I think it's safe to say Sean Rogers may not have any more tires left on that thing.
Yeah, and when you don't have tires, someone might end up moving you out of the way, so we'll have to keep an eye on that too, because I know for me, this late in the race, I'm cramping up, I'm starting to sweat, and when someone burnt their stuff off and I'm behind them, and if they're not getting out of my way, the best way to get them out of the way is that front bumper, Nick. So this is where things could really start to get interesting, as he almost loses it again off of turn 2. 27 laps to go. Shane Davis still with a commanding lead. But Alex Coffey,
and let's remember, 25 laps anywhere else, not that long of a time. Here at Phoenix, that's forever. I mean, for whatever reason, laps at Phoenix, they just go on for so much longer than it feels like anywhere else. So 25 laps is a very, very long time at Phoenix.
Yeah, we still got a lot of racing left. Oh my goodness. I thought Rogers was going to throw a block to the 14 car of Kevin Ruff, which is a good drive back up to the top 10 for him. He was involved in that wreck earlier, as we're on board with him now. Uh-oh.
I didn't like the sound of that uh-oh.
Steer that boat, Kevin. Come on, buddy. He had that thing wound up in turns 1 and 2.
Well, here's Randy Mullins to his inside. That's a name we haven't talked about much tonight. Randy Mullins, after having such a good race at Coda. Oh, man, Jeffrey Taylor and Justin Belmonte about got to do each other off of 4. But as I was saying, Randy Mullins with his stellar race at Coda just has not had, he's kind of had a little bit of a hangover, I guess, from that race. Just has not had the speed he had at Circuit of the Americas, but he's going to make it 3 wide to the inside for just a moment.
Brandon Bikey has caught Shane Davis 3/10. He's caught him. He had it down to 7/10. Are we missing something? I mean, he is reeling Shane Davis in all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Oh, Belmonte up into the wall almost. In turns 1 and 2, we got multiple different things happening here. Oh, Belmonte just smacked the wall off of 2.
Smacked the wall off of 2, but we stay green, but the tires are starting to wear down. We're seeing action all over the racetrack. This is where that yellow flag could fly. And yeah, Brandon Bikey is catching Shane down. Another 10th off the board that lap. That last lap, Shane Davis ran a 28.685. Bikey ran a 7:09, but the lap before he ran a 6:04. So he's faster in some places, slower in others, but Bikey's not out of this yet.
No, he's not. This race is not over up front. It's going to be close.
Can they make it another 20 laps? Can they?
Ooh. That's where this race gets tricky, because these tires are screaming right now. I can already tell. I could see multiple people just struggling not to spin it off of turn number 2. And like I said, and also when it comes to this Brandon Bikey Shane Davis battle, it's one thing to catch him, it's a whole nother thing to pass him. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that as Bikey ends up closing in on him.
Yeah, and as a driver, this is when the anxiety starts to kick in. What have I done wrong over the long run? What could I have done different to have a 1.5 second lead on Brandon Bikey? Now it's down to 0.5 of a second with less than 20 laps to go. Now 19 laps as they cross the line. What else can he do? Is he just saving that little bit of tire for the end? Does Bikey think his tires are good to the end? Could we all of a sudden see a mechanical failure out of either of these gentlemen? Could Alex Coffey pounce on that and win his first race of the year? Could Shane Davis win his second? Could Brandon Bikey win his second? A lot of stories to keep an eye on coming down to the end of this race.
Yeah, we were talking earlier on in this race, are we going to have a 4th different winner? Well, fortunately, does not look like that is going to happen, as you got 2 repeat winners, 1st and 2nd. So unless the C word does end up coming out. Shane Davis, wow.
Paul Gallimore gave a little bit of a door going into the dog leg. No caution, we stay green, but this is where the trouble starts. These cars were single file for the last 40 laps, and now all the tires are starting to wear out, and look what's happening. We're starting to get these packs of cars with different tire wear, different speeds, different drivers in them, with all sorts of different personalities and driving styles, and that just, oh boy.
Leads to chaos.
Brandon Mikey down to 3/10 now.
Ooh, Belmonte has, I believe, that
they're
is
tight.
better place. No, that's Barry Sanders to the inside of Belmonte.
Yeah, this pack right here is going to be one to keep an eye on because these boys are all over each other. And that's 3 aero cars all underneath a blanket, and they're all, oh man.
Up front, though, we can keep our eye on this battle, but up front, Bikey is still catching.
Yeah, Bikey almost down to 0.2 of a second now.
Get a quick look at it here. That's the gap. That is the gap for the lead. Back to this mosh pit for about 10 or about 8th on back, I believe. As you see Belmonte falling off now. Was running 3rd at the
lap car in the way. Oh my goodness, that was almost destructive.
That was terrifying.
I will say we do have a lap car.
Oh, Gallimore!
We do have a lap car in front of both of our leaders. And they're consistent with running the same line that they are, so it's giving them that dirty air. Oh boy.
Yeah, Davis up to the rear end of this lap car now. Moves it to the inside. Lap car's just going to get out of the way. Doesn't want to mess with it. Good on him.
I don't know. He's still there on the outside. Now he's going to let him go. We're making the same step. Oh my God, you couldn't write the script any better than this. I mean,
Both of us are on the edge of our seats here.
I'm not sitting, actually. I'm standing.
Oh.
It's
Okay, well, Brandon's sitting. I'm on the edge of my seat in my sim rig.
It's been one of those races. I stood up about 10 laps ago because Bikey's gonna put on a battle here at the end of this race. I mean, I know they're teammates, but I would love to see some chrome horn action. I just love to see the good old bump to pass, and Bikey almost gets to his rear bumper there. We're coming to 11 laps to go. Can they keep it clean? Is Bikey going to be able to make the pass clean with how old his tires are?
Coming to 11 to go here at Phoenix. Down to the wire between Beast Mode Performance teammates. Can you write a better script? Can you write a better script than this?
And the NFL tries, but they can't. Coming through 1 and 2, 11 laps to go. We're going to be coming to 10 laps to go down the back straightaway. Bikey taking a completely different line than Davis. Can he get to him, and can he get underneath of him? Nick, we've said it time and time again. Getting to somebody is one thing, but passing him at this racetrack is a complete another.
10 to go. 10 laps, and we will have a winner of this race. 4th race of the season, and it's been a barn burner so far.
Davis, Bikey, Coffey, Davis, and Mullins round out the top 5. Then you got Taylor, Ruff, Rogers, Carmichaels, and Sanders rounding out the top 10. Good run for Barry Sanders here tonight. 10 laps to go. Brandon Bikey waiting, stalking the prey. Can he get up there? Can he move him? Oh man, 9 laps to go. You really can't write it better than this.
Yeah, and they have a little bit more lap traffic they're going to have to deal with. There's some lap traffic about 5 or 6 seconds up the road. I don't know how much they're going to play into this, but if it ends up coming down to who gets through lap traffic better, give me Davis. Give me Davis if it comes down to lap traffic.
These cars are already handling so bad. You do not want to catch these lap cars and get their dirty air and make it even worse. And Bikey's all over that brake to get the car slowed down. Just trying to get the clean air. So that way he's not right behind Davis.
Oh, he's got to run.
Yeah, but Davis has the run from running that middle line. I think Bikey's got to try something different here. He's got the better line in 3 and 4, but in 1 and 2, Davis has got him beat, and they're just in a stalemate.
Yeah, that's what this next gen comes down to. This dirty air is all it comes down to. That's why we see the bumper used so much. It's because you kind of have to at this range. Bikey has a nose to the inside. Doesn't quite have the move, though. Coming towards 3 and 4.
That line that Davis is running in 1 and 2 is really starting to concern me. It allows Bikey to move up to him and get closer to him. In one of these corners, the 79's not going to be able to dime in that corner, and it's going to ruin all of his momentum. We might see it right here.
Yeah, he's diamonding a lot harder now.
Bikey sticks in line behind him, but the 79 switches his line up, but that's going to mess him up.
Oh, here we go! Oh, man! Bikey had a run, didn't take it there.
Coming off of turn 4, the 27 searching all over the racetrack, decides to not take the dog leg, loses half a car length. And there goes the 79 running that line again. The 27's gonna pull up to him a little bit, just can't get there. That's gotta be so frustrating. You know you've dug at this gap that he had 1.3 seconds and you're right on his back bumper and you just can't get by him. Less than 5 laps to go.
5 to go at Phoenix. 4 to go at Phoenix. Bikey thought about taking it to the outside, thought about a move to the inside. He's gonna choose to stick behind Shane Davis here. And remember, these are teammates. I don't know how hard they're gonna race. It's still early in the season. Oh man, I thought Bikey had the move to the inside, but like I said, I think Bikey's just gonna ride here. They're teammates, and of course, right as I say that, Bikey looks to the outside and just backs out of it again.
I thought he had the run on the outside. I think he had the lift because he was gonna hit the wall. 3 laps to go here at Phoenix. Can Bikey get anything done through turn 1 and 2? Davis is gonna run that diamond line. Bikey's gonna be in tow behind him. Bikey cut away at this lead, 1.3 seconds back. Now they have lap traffic in front of them. Can that play a role? The lap car's gonna run the bottom in front of Davis. Will that allow Bikey to get closer? It will. The lap car's almost in the wall. Here comes Brandon Bikey. 2 laps to go at Phoenix.
Bikey thinks about the move, but decides to back off once again through turns 1 and 2. Bikey looks to the inside. He looks to the inside. We got a race for the win here at Phoenix. Side by side down the back straightaway, heading towards the braking zone at turn number 3. Bikey is to the inside of Davis. Davis squeezes him to the yellow as they're coming up on the turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1 mile to decide this one. That gap was 12 thousandths of a second at the line. How close are we looking at coming to the finish? Bikey still on the inside. He's got the nose. Shane Davis now to the outside. He's clear. Bikey is clear on the last lap of this race. Brandon Bikey passes Shane Davis. And now, coming off of turn number 4, Bikey is the first one to multiple wins.
Well, they had the tires to get it. We didn't think they did, but what a run by Brandon Bikey from 1.3 back. Didn't even need to use the bumper. Just waited. Oh, what patience, what execution. What a race by that 27 machine. But you got to hand it to the 79 too. All those laps led. Heartbreak at the end.
Brandon Bikey wins a thriller here at Phoenix. Shane Davis loses it after dominating here tonight on a last lap pass. Bikey is the first one to 2 wins. Coffee comes home in 3rd position here tonight. Randy Mullins and Chris Davis will round out your top 5, and Bikey with his famous reverse victory lap here. Just gonna watch this here for a second and decides to keep it going. I think he's gonna do the whole lap here, Brent.
Well, while he's doing the whole lap, we're going to step aside and take a break. And when we come back, we will have the full unofficial results for you and the top 3 to interview when we come back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live here at Phoenix as Brandon Bikey steals one late. Last lap pass on his teammate Shane Davis, and Bikey is your winner here tonight from Phoenix Raceway. And like I said, it was an absolute thriller for the Victory Designs 200. And Bikey ends up winning it. Shane Davis comes home in second place after dominating the race here tonight. Alex Coffey, having to go through the field a couple of times, brings it home third place. We'll speak to those three here in just a few moments as we run through our finishing order here tonight. Randy Mullins brings it home in that fourth spot. Chris Davis brings it home with the top five. Cabin Ruff in sixth. Jeffrey Taylor, I believe, is your biggest mover of the race. He finishes seventh here tonight. Sean Rogers in eighth. Hunter Carmichael finishes in ninth. And Brandon Fetter plays to round out your top 10.
Yeah, and then the first car outside the top 10. Good run for the 81 machine of Barry Sanders. Corey Moore finishes P12th with Tim Wortman Jr. finishing 13th. Justin Belmonte, after late troubles, finishes 14th. Blaine Wilson, I mean, if I were him, I couldn't ask for a better day after all the trouble that these guys went through today. In 15th, Paul Gallimore, Shane Wyatt, Chris Crosby, Nick King, and Darren Mills rounds out the top 20.
And of course, you had those two finishing one lap down there. That was Chris Crosby and Nick King. Or excuse me, Nick King and Darren Mills, that were your first two cars one lap down. Jared Clark comes home in 21st. 22nd is going to be Jamison Middlemiss. Preston Purrier comes home in 23rd. Caden Norfree in 24th. Nicholas Atwood is your final finishing car on the night. He finishes 25th, 2 laps down. I'll run through the rest of the field. Greg Carr, 26th. Matt Cox, 27th. Kenny Coppola in 28th. Jordan Schmeets, 29th. Nigel Christensen in 30th. 31st, going to be Matt Mack and Warren Young in 32nd, Colt Blaskowski in 33rd, Aaron Matthews in 34th, Victor Fluger in 35th, and Ryan Huff rounds out your 36-car field here tonight from Phoenix for the Victory Designs 200. And now we're going to go speak to your top three. And first one of the night going to be Alex Coffey in the number 19. He finishes third tonight. Alex, man, drove through the field twice and came up 4.5 seconds short. How are you feeling after that one?
Mixed feelings. Definitely felt like I gave it away there with that speeding penalty, and then after that was all on me due to the speeding penalty. So yeah, we definitely had a fast car and was able to pretty much go where I wanted. But by the time on that last run, by the time I got up to Brandon and Shane, my tires were shot. So as soon as I saw them matching times with me, and then it switched over to them being faster, I was just trying to finish it out and stay where I was at.
Well, you ended up dominating stage one, leading every lap of that first stage. Going into that pit stop, what was your mentality for the rest of that race? And obviously, before the speeding penalty, kind of what were you thinking coming out of the box?
It was just to keep the lead as best I could, but I was under the impression we had to stay right to on pit road, and then I guess deeper in the pack, people were going low, so it cycled up to where we were at of people going low. So when I tried to speed up a little bit to get down back where I was in front of, I think it was Shane, I caught speeding. I think I only went one over. It's real sensitive here, so
Now,
unfortunate.
we were talking pre-race about tires being really important. How bad were they on that final run?
Um, they weren't terrible. I had to pass. I don't even know how many cars that last run, so mine were definitely hot. I can give you my. I was 74 right front and 67 right rear, so they weren't horrible, but I definitely didn't have enough juice to keep going after I got there.
Yeah, Phoenix is always a tough place to drive. Looking next week at Vegas, I mean, what's the thoughts heading into that one?
I think we'll be good there. I'm usually pretty solid at Vegas. Just gotta keep preparing and keep trying to show up with dominant speed, and we'll put one together eventually.
Yeah, it's Alex Coffey, your third place finisher. That number 19 looked quick all night, wasn't able to bring it home in first. See you next week, Alex.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
As Alex Coffey, your second place finisher now. Brandon Edstrom with your second place finisher in Shane Davis.
Yeah, I'm down here with Shane Davis. Shane, what an absolute run you had. Dominated the entire second half of that race. Those last 5 laps, walk me through them, bud.
I thought I was going to be fine there. I was just being patient on it, making sure I didn't make a mistake. Ran defensive lines. Brandon was definitely faster. He took care of his right rear a lot more than I did there at the beginning of that run. Coming to the white flag, Nick King decides he wants to run in the leader's lane, and I wasn't able to get into the corner at my braking point. I had to wait on the throttle, and then I had to wait on throttle on exit too, and then we got a little bit of net code there as soon as I went to try to stay on top of them coming out, and it just wouldn't stick. And then I couldn't run a line on 1 and 2 because another lap car was up there. So just poor race etiquette out of some of the lap cars, but we get it. They're not as experienced, and we'll just move on. And good points today.
Absolutely. Now, the domination last week, the domination in the second half of the race this week, is this something that we should be put on notice for? Because you have been laying down lap times, leading a lot of laps, really solid finishes. You got Vegas next week. Do you think that the rest of the schedule plays into your hand? I mean, I know you guys have Kenny building the setups, and you guys have been absolute rockets. So walk me through what you feel like the rest of the year is going to look like for you guys.
I feel pretty good. I'm actually on a Ryko set this week. Most of the other Beast Mode guys run TWRS, but I switch back and forth between Ryko Conti, TWRS, and DPI. This week I stuck with a Ryko set, and it's pretty good. I feel good as we can coming out. Those are actually probably some of my worst tracks, so I'm looking forward to some of my better tracks like Gateway, New Hampshire, some of the technical tracks like that. So.
Well, the last question I got for you is, Brandon Bikey was super clean. You know, if it was anybody else in the field, if it wasn't a teammate, I don't think we could say the same thing. How much does that mean, knowing that you have, you know, these guys have good heads on their shoulders in your team camp, knowing that if they are going to get by you, they want to get by clean. They're not going to bump you out of the way, or even if they do, it's not going to be egregious. How does that feel, knowing that you have guys like that on your team?
It feels good. I mean, kind of like Daytona, I stayed behind him and I pushed him to the win. I could have easily hung him out there and took the win, but we're going to race each other clean. I wasn't going to pinch him down. If it would have been someone else, I probably would have pinched him to where he couldn't have exited. And it is what it is. We do a good job.
No, Shane, before I let you go, anybody you got to thank, bud?
Yeah, I got to think BMP put in a lot of practice this week. We got a lot of guys turning laps, a lot of guys that unfortunate events tonight that were really fast. Cox and Rogers messed up their qual laps, and they were really super fast here this week. Kenny got in a little bit of scuffle there, getting shuffled at the end, and unfortunately ended his day early. Everybody did a great job. I got to thank all the guys on BMP, Ryko Performance this week. And thank you guys for having a good broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. All right, Nick, back up to you for the race winner, 27 machine of Brandon Bikey.
Yeah, standing in Van Lilly Stickers victory lane with Brandon Bikey. Brandon, that gap, we were talking about it right at the start of that final run. 1.3 seconds was the largest we ever saw that gap. At that point, it had to have been a mental game, right? Like what were you thinking that allowed you to catch up 1.3 seconds and pass for the win?
Well, I was just trying to be as smooth as I could on the throttle. This track is so easy to burn the right rear off and then have no drive off the rest of the run. So I did my best to just run as smooth and as easy on it as I could because I knew we'd be running a lot of laps on those tires if we didn't have cautions, and we luckily didn't end up having cautions. So both Shane and I were really just taking it easy on our laps, just being smooth. And he was a little bit faster than I was. I didn't want to be right behind him because it would take the nose air off and then just cause my car to get all upset and again burn tires weird. So I wanted to have a little bit of a gap, and it came down to the last couple laps. I really hate to see lap cars dictate any kind of finish to the race. It just shouldn't ever happen. They should. I know they have the right to race, but when it's the last two laps, like just pull over and let them race their line. I would do that, and I hope that they'll start doing that moving forward because that's just not the way it should end.
All right, so we get one cuss pass every week to use on broadcast, and that's straight from DJ. So if you got problems with it, ask him. At what point in that final run did you think, holy shit, I could actually win this race?
Well, I mean, as I was just driving very smoothly, and again, I saw Alex had passed a lot of people and got up to us, and once I saw him start dropping back a little bit, and I was starting to catch Shane a little bit, and I was still running the same line, same throttle input, same brake inputs, I knew I had a pretty good chance to catch him by the end if I just kept it smooth. I mean, I ran a lot of A Opens last week and made a lot of mistakes that I learned from. So just trying to push too hard and really tearing that right rear up and not being able to make any passes or make any headway at the very end. So just comes with practice. I mean, the more practice you do, the better typically. So it was definitely showed here.
Now, final question I got for you. Brandon asked Shane this question. I'm going to ask it to you in a different way. Is this kind of your way of putting this league on notice, saying that there's a chance that you have a championship winning car, or what can we expect from you at least to start the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, all of us on the BMP team have a championship winning car. We've got great setups. We help each other, even if we're running different setups. We do a very good job of getting each other better. So I think any of us have a great chance to win. I'm going to try my best. I mean, there's tracks that I run in VR. So last week at Coda, I just couldn't run it because it would make me sick after 5 laps. So I took a header into turn 1 at 160 because I didn't want to throw up. So road courses, I'm probably not going to be as competitive just due to the nature of how I run, my race here. But yeah, I'm. Oh, just the smiley face. Yeah, I just thought it'd be fun. I try to be fun with it. I'm actually running a paint scheme that I've run since 2001 when I was racing NASCAR 4. So it's that same red with white stripes, and so I've added some little touches to it because this game gives you a lot more fun things to do. But yeah, I just like to have fun with it, and we try to come out here and have a good time on Wednesday nights. So that's all it is.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight, Brandon. Before we let you go, who do you got to thank? Who gets it done for you?
So I want to thank Kenny Coppola. Again, he built some rocket setups. You can get his setups at TWRS, so appreciate him. Appreciate the whole BMP team. Like I said, they're just the best group of guys. And then my family is always here supporting me. My dad actually usually watches the broadcast, but he's actually here watching me live. So glad to have him behind me and just rooting me on. So that was a lot of fun. And everybody that's out there watching the races on YouTube, we appreciate you guys, your support, and you guys as broadcasters put on a heck of a show. So we appreciate you, Brandon, Nick, and Sean, for coming out here every week and just doing a great job.
Thank you, brother.
Well, thank you for that. Congratulations on the win tonight, Brandon. Hopefully get to speak to you next week at Las Vegas.
I hope so.
That was Brandon Bikey, your race winner. And right off the back of that, Brandon, any final thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to Las Vegas next week. 4 lanes, wide front straightaway, wide back straightaway. Going to be an absolute blast to watch. Tune in next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll be here. And now we're going to give the good old, my favorite part of the broadcast, Nick's final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts tonight. I mean, that was a good race. I mean, race was very, very good, very fun to watch. I mean, racing all over the place. We saw passes up, down, left, right, sideways, upside down, even. Of course, the wrecks were big. I mean, they always are at Phoenix. There's just nowhere to go, especially getting down into turn number 3. But it's typical Phoenix for you. Fun one tonight. But like I said, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place, except we'll be in the Sin City catching these guys racing at Las Vegas next week here on Ballin TV. Y'all stay safe and have a great night.